Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Before we start, warning, spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain a 2007 American action and thriller movie called Die Hard 4.0 or Live Free or Die Hard. The movie begins with a group of cyber terrorists launching attacks on hackers. They send a virus that wipes the computer's data, then when the hacker presses the delete button, it explodes. Then they cause an outage to the FBI Cybersecurity Division, causing Miguel Bowman, the deputy director, to track down potential hackers that may cause the outage. The instruction reaches John McClane, an NYPD senior detective who is attempting to communicate with Lucy, his estranged daughter, who is making out with her boyfriend. John is tasked to pick up a local hacker named Matthew Farrell and deliver him to Washington, D.C. to be interrogated. As with other hackers, Matthew's computer is hijacked and he is about to press the delete button, but luckily John knocks on his door, catching his attention. While they converse, the terrorists, waiting outside Matthew's apartment to ensure it blows up, feel something is off and they attempt to storm inside and finish the mission by themselves. John saves Matthew, and they successfully escape, heading for Washington, D.C. The terrorists are sent by Mai Ling, who works for her boyfriend, Thomas Gabriel. They send a helicopter to fetch the surviving men not defeated by John. Meanwhile, the FBI tracks their potential list of suspects being killed off one by one, with 7 dead people so far. Thomas launches a massive cyber attack on the country. He and his team hijacks the transport system and disrupts the traffic lights system, initiating car crashes at road intersections and sending the roads to complete gridlock. Then, they hack into the financial system to crash down the stock market and sound false anthrax alarms at government institutions. Matthew and John, trapped in the traffic, get out of their car and continue on foot after John realizes all the traffic lights are green, indicating something is off with the traffic system. They reach the FBI's crisis center, disrupted by the anthrax alarms, and meet Bowman, who is trying to manage the crisis. Matthew claims he does not know about any of the dead hackers when he is shown their photos. The terrorists then broadcast a threatening video across all news channels consisting of clips of U.S. President's speeches. Matthew deduces that they are trying to do a fire sale, which the FBI despises. John asks what a fire sale is, to which Matthew answers that it is a massive, strategic cyber attack launched on vital infrastructure in 3 steps. Firstly, the traffic system, then the financial system, then vital utilities such as electricity and gas. Bowman sends Matthew to be interrogated by the FBI, escorted by John and another agent. Along the way, John exclaims that he knows Matthew is lying about not recognizing the dead hackers. Matthew explains that he helped write a mutating encryption algorithm for Mai and those dead hackers were his competitors. The code is written by a lot of people, but it will only take several bad guys to implement the code and execute the fire sale. While asking for a safe route through the city, the terrorists intercept the police car's communication and deduce that Matthew is still alive. Mai, impersonating a dispatcher, gives them false instructions, leading them right into her trap. However, Matthew recognizes her voice and deduces that the communication system has been compromised. John threatens Mai through the radio, to which Thomas replies by reading his personal data, then the terrorists send an armed helicopter to shoot at them. John drives into a tunnel where Thomas can hijack its system, causing traffic chaos and a power outage. John gets an idea to drive the police car straight into the helicopter waiting for them at the tunnel exit, effectively destroying it. The only survivor, Rand, reports to Thomas and claims that John and Matthew are dead. Actually, they are still alive and are heading toward the New York Police Department, which currently is in total chaos. The officers could not help John and Matthew since they are overwhelmed by the angry citizens, so the two head out to figure out a way on their own. The terrorists proceed with their next plan. Led by Emerson, they infiltrate the National Data Administration facility. Once they are inside the facility, Mai poses as an FBI agent with a few other people and heads out using a helicopter. They also knock off the satellite networks and landlines, cutting all FBI communications. John attempts to contact Bowman, but Matthew warns him that his phone might have been tracked, so he uses a stranger's phone. While making the call, the terrorists broadcast a threatening video again, this time showing the White House blown up to pieces. Both John and Bowman rush outside to see the real condition of the White House, which is still standing. Desperate, John asks Matthew to put himself in the terrorists' shoes and deduce their next move. Matthew explains that even though the attacks can be launched remotely, vital infrastructure has a closed circuit system that needs to be hacked from within, so they should be physically present in those facilities to hack them. He guesses that they will head to a gas utility main hub in West Virginia. They hijack a car and Matthew contacts the emergency service to remotely start it, claiming to be in a traffic incident. Matthew's guess is correct since the gas hub is where Mai and her team are heading. Arriving there, John single-handedly defeats Mai's men and faces her. While they fight, Matthew hijacks back into the hub system to reverse what the terrorists have done. Mai falls to her death after an intense fight in the elevator shaft. Thomas, worrying about her, calls her. To his surprise, John picks up the call. Matthew hacks into the system to obtain Thomas' image and sends it to the FBI. Bowman recognizes Thomas as his former co-worker. Devastated by Mai's death, enraged Thomas reroutes gas to the main hub with the aim to destroy it, killing John and Matthew. He then instructs his team to trigger a massive power outage along the East Coast. Matthew gets an idea to contact another top hacker codenamed Warlock, whom he thinks can help them. They take a helicopter to head to Warlock's house. After identifying his house as the only one with lights still on, they meet him, actually named Freddy, who is reluctant to talk to a cop. He explains to them that Thomas Gabriel was the former Department of Defense employee who warned the government that the country's cyber system is vulnerable to cyber warfare, but his ideas got him fired. He also explains that the piece of code Matthew helped write was used to access Social Security data at a facility in Woodlawn. However, studying the facility's layout, they realize that it has cooling towers, an exaggerated feature for a facility that contains Social Security data. Freddy hacks into the system, alarming Thomas and his men. They establish a live communication channel, with both parties able to hack into each other's cameras. Thomas locates Lucy and uses her as a bargaining point with John. Meanwhile, Thomas kills all his engineers but one, Trey, before he proceeds to his next move. John goes to Woodlawn without inviting Matthew, but Matthew insists on coming along and helping as much as he can. Meanwhile, Bowman discovers the Woodlawn facility from his bosses, who keep the fact from him because he is not authorized to know it. However, Thomas knows about the facility as he was the one who designed it. The fire sale would trigger all financial data to be downloaded to the facility, making a backup, which Thomas can use for whatever he pleases. Bowman instructs his men to find him a helicopter so he can head to Woodlawn as fast as he can. John and Matthew arrive at the facility but are separated after an encounter with Thomas' men. Matthew recognizes his own algorithm used to encrypt the data but is caught by Emerson. He claims that the terrorists need him to decrypt it, so frustrated Trey and Thomas take him hostage along with Lucy. John communicates with Thomas using one of his dead henchmen's radio, exclaiming that he will come for him and save his daughter. He knows that Thomas fears him because Lucy is being kept alive as a bargaining point against him. Thomas thinks John is underestimating him and prepares an evacuation. He transports himself, Lucy, and Matthew inside a government truck heading out of the facility. John follows them by hijacking a semi-trailer. Thomas and his men realize that then he hacks into the radio system of an F-35 plane sent by Bowman to destroy the Woodlawn facility to give false instruction to fire at John's truck. After an intense shooting near a bridge, the helicopter falls along with John, but he survives. Thomas arrives at a nearby hangar where he threatens Matthew to solve his code by shooting his knee and aiming the gunpoint at Lucy. John arrives at the right time, taking down Thomas' men except for Emerson. However, he is shot on the shoulder and then retreats to the back of a car. Lucy finds a moment to grab Emerson's gun and shoot him, while Matthew hides behind a stack of boxes and does not finish his code. Thomas captures John, standing closely behind him, positioning his gun on John's shoulder. John pulls the trigger, causing a bullet to travel through his shoulder right towards Thomas' heart, instantly defeating him. Matthew grabs a gun and lurches to shoot at Emerson. The FBI arrives at the scene, evacuating John, Lucy, and Matthew. John converses with Lucy, who takes a romantic interest in Matthew. He then approaches Matthew and thanks him for saving Lucy's life despite claiming he is not the hero type like John. Although John jokingly threatens him to not flirt with Lucy, he asks about her anyway. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.